sister. You ever felt like the world has moved on while you're still dancing with the old memories, trying to find your new rhythm? Well, I've been there too. Today, I'm sharing the 9 things that I've learned over the 9 years that I've been a widow. Things that might make you chuckle, cry, and laugh, and feel a bit more connected. Let's dive in and see how we can turn our journey into a celebration of resilience. The first thing that I learned was that I am highly aware of energy and spirit. When my husband was in the hospital and he was on life support, I was sitting in the cot next to him, and I remember he was laying there in his bed. I could see him laying there, and I could feel his arms like wrapped around me. Like I could feel so much warmth and love, and I immediately felt calm because that situation was just a nightmare being there. And I just remember being overwhelmed with so much warmth and calmness that I could not deny it had to be him. I knew it was him. I've never had an experience like that before in my life. Since then, he's given me so many signs that I can't even count how many, to let me know that he is okay. And so I know that I can now feel that energy shifts when he's around. I can get that sense that he's there with me. It's something I can't really explain very well. I just know, like, there's just a warmth or sometimes, or I feel like my head's being touched, or, I can just feel like he's around and he's touching me. My senses are very aware of him. And so now that I know that, I become a little bit more aware of other energies too, like I'm really pick up on when people are sad, or like if I've walked into a room and there's been a fight, like I can sense that. And everybody has this ability, but I think that because of what my husband has shown me, like I'm really much more heightened and aware of it, because I'm always trying to feel him. I'm always wanting, to be aware of his presence with me. And so that also applies to a lot of other things in life energetically. So having that awareness has made my life a lot easier, and especially with access tools that I've learned and taking classes with access consciousness. The second thing that I discovered was I had a strength that I never knew I had. The hardest thing that I had to do was leave him in the hospital after he had been taken off life support to go home where he would never be again. That was so hard for me, to the point that I couldn't cope very well, and I turned to alcohol. That was something that I had known for a long time, that I had been using for a lot of my life. Whether I realized it or not, was that I would turn to alcohol to try to numb that out so I couldn't feel it. So I don't recommend that. There are so many firsts in life without your husband, and after you've lost someone and you're grieving and you go through things for the first time without that person, it's a lot. And I drank through most of those. So that made the grief 10 times harder for me, and also for my children, because I wasn't being very present for them either. I finally got the strength to quit drinking. And I was smoking too, that goes hand in hand, right? I quit that as well. And I also quit sugar, because I went from alcohol to sugary sodas and things like that. So I could see my addiction was going from one thing to the other. And once I realized that, I stopped it, because I didn't want to have that as a crutch anymore. I had to start learning and using new tools to get through this. And so I also changed my diet, and I chose to start taking better care of myself, and I started detoxing. It wasn't easy, because I felt everything like those first all over again, 10 times worse. I was feeling it now, and I had nothing else to turn to try to numb that down. So now I've been sober for over 7 years, and I always imagined that life would be so boring that I just could not do it. But in fact, that's quite the opposite. I've learned so many more healthier ways of dealing with things and dealing with life's challenges, and my kids are so much happier because I'm a much more present mom now. The third thing that I discovered about myself is that I could live one moment at a time. Grief might teach you to live in the present moment, because that's truly the only moment we have, and it's where we find the most joy. If I thought about the past, I would be suffering, because I would be grieving. I would be thinking about what I didn't have anymore, and that just made me suffer. And then if I looked to the future, I couldn't see my husband there. Everything that we had planned for our future was gone. It was totally just turned upside down and just disappeared. So that also made me suffer even more. And some people would tell me, oh, just live one day at a time. Well, even that was too much for me. So I had to stick to the moment. The present moment is the most powerful moment that we have. It's where we can just be ourselves and be present with our kids and be fully aware of our surroundings. And if we can say in that moment, I'm okay, then that's a great place to start. Meditation has become a major help with me staying present. So much that I became a certified David G. Masters of Wisdom and Meditation teacher because I wanted to make this something that I could do every day and practice. And that was just my way of getting myself into that routine. I do it in the morning. I also do it in the afternoon. So I try to do 2 a day, and it has been amazing. It's been a game changer for me, and being able to stay present and less reactive to things and just having more peace and clarity. It's truly amazing to have a meditation practice. And if you'd like to learn how to have a meditation practice, I do have a 21-day meditation challenge where you can start to put that into your daily routine. So I hope you'll check that out. Access bars is another modality that I found to stop with the constant mind chatter, because if you're anything like me, I think way too much about every little thing, even stories in my head that aren't even true, we always do that, our mind just kind of likes to go in a loop and just chatter. And so access bars is totally amazing. It just takes you out of that completely and gives you so much space and peace. So I also enjoyed that so much, and it's made such a huge difference in my life, especially with the trauma that I went through after when my husband passed away. It really helped with that. I decided to become an access bars practitioner and facilitator so I can teach those classes. So if you want to learn more about that, I can do another video that talks a little bit more about that. Another thing that I have discovered about myself is being in service to others gets me out of my head, and sharing my story has helped me connect with others who are on a similar path. It's amazing how reaching out can make you feel less alone and more empowered. Volunteering my time for organizations I believe in helped me get out of my head and into my heart. I volunteered for a local spiritual center, a bookstore. I also volunteered at a horse rescue. I volunteered at the local radio station that I really love. It doesn't have commercials, it actually has real DJs, so I really love to empower that with my time and my money. It's just a rewarding way to give back and make a difference in your community, and also a huge gift to be able to shift your focus away from suffering to service. The fifth thing that I discovered about myself as a widow is that I've become quite the DIY queen. My tool drawer is practically my best friend. Wait, okay, that sounded sadder than I intended. Well, it's true that being a widow mom, you do learn to rely on yourself quite a bit. There's power in that though. I mean, who knew that I had a superpower for fixing the garbage disposal, replacing a broken handle on the toilet, and replacing a burnt out brake light on my car? It turns out widowhood unlocks some hidden talents. Gratitude for unexpected joys of small victories and acknowledging the big victories too. Whether it's cooking a new recipe without burning it or managing to keep a plant alive, celebrating small victories has become a huge part of my life. Let's not forget the big victories too. Over the years, I've accomplished so much on my own that may seem like a normal thing for most people, but the fact is, I bought my own house, I paid off my car, I started a business that's starting to take off, and I've raised 2 amazing kids, so very kind-hearted, and they've graduated high school and they don't turn to substances to cope through life. For me, that is huge, and I am so very proud of them. When at first it was all I could do to just get out of bed in the morning, and go to work. We've got to acknowledge and have gratitude for all of the victories, big and small, so that even more can come our way. I had to reevaluate my idea of relationships. My front row people were my husband, my grandmother, and my mom, and they're all gone now. So over the years, I've learned who my true friends are. The ones who show up and listen and get me without judging me. There's only a few people, let's face it. I've let go of a lot of people who were once really close to me, and they disappeared because they didn't know how to talk to me after my husband passed away. They didn't know how to be with me when I was grieving, and that was really hard. That was another loss that I went through. It's where did my friends go, It felt pretty lonely for a while. It's kind of like a friendship audit though, in a way, and it's surprisingly freeing once you realize who your friends really are. And I also had to learn to look at friendship differently, like change my point of view about what a friend is and isn't, what a friend should do and shouldn't do. And that's really opened me up to like be with more people and talk to more people and consider them a friend, you know? Number 8, I've come to appreciate my own company. As my kids have gotten older, they're spending more time in their rooms or out with friends, and I'd found myself alone more often. At first, it kind of made me sad, but then I started to find things to do that I enjoyed, and I was spending time getting to know myself better, the things that I like to do and things that maybe I put aside and like forgot about. And so solitude isn't really always lonely. Sometimes it's where you can find peace and tranquility and be really creative. The 9th thing that I really learned about myself was that I have kind of a wicked off-the-wall sense of humor. Laughter really is the best medicine. The sillier, the better, especially when you're grieving. I've learned to find humor in everyday situations, and even in those awkward moments where I tried to decorate my son's birthday cake in white icing to make a little balloon, but it turned out more looking like a sperm. We still cackle over this every year when I make their cakes, and they're like, please mom, do not put a sperm on our cakes. But then I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of like how you got here, isn't it? It's like your origin story. When you're feeling the waves of grief, you've got to have ways to lift your spirits. My kids and I have a meme group chat where we send all kinds of memes that we find in our feeds so that we can all have a laugh together. And it's really fun to just like watch memes with each other and see their reactions, and they see my reactions and they're like showing me things. So it's not only like giving us something to do together, to like be together as a family, but also we're laughing together, and that is huge. It's like a huge benefit. Sometimes I'll watch some of my favorite types of movies, like comedy movies that make me laugh, like Mel Brooks movies or like Monty Python. Black Books is a series that I used to laugh so hard at. Modern Family, Working Moms, you know, just that off the wall kind of raunchy, crazy humor that is just like, it gets you laughing and it's just fun. It lifts your spirits up when you laugh and you feel so much better. Like you can kind of forget things and just be in that moment and be with your sense of humor and just have fun and laugh at life, you know? Find ways to get yourself laughing again. Do whatever it takes. It can be a huge difference in your life. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. If you made it this far, leave me some of your lessons that you've learned along the way. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Remember, every step that we take on this journey is a testament to your strength and resilience. Keep finding those moments of joy and rediscovery and acknowledge how far you really have come. Look for the gifts in everything. They are there, I promise you. Until next time, keep shining, keep smiling, and embracing your beautiful new self. Bye.